Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, she left me for a woman. I got an email here from a guy whose girlfriend actually discovered that she was cheating on him with another woman. And he admits that during their relationship, he was doing really well when they first met. He was in the banking industry, making a lot of money. She ended up losing her job. He ended up supporting her and paying her bills. And then the industry went in the toilet, basically. And he then, in turn, started his own business, which started to suffer for a while. And he says, hey, I can't really afford to pay all your bills or pay for your household and mine. And so she ended up moving in with him. And things just continued to get worse over time. And then he found out that she was sleeping with another woman. So I've got a quote that I wrote in this topic that we're going to go through. Because they broke up. And then she's been calling, and they've been hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. But what he did was he got a little too aggressive on basically expecting her to make a decision to be back into a relationship with him. So it's an interesting email because, I mean, let's face it, most of us guys, two hot chicks together, I mean, every guy's fantasy, we like that kind of thing. So it's interesting. So the quote says, relationships come in all shapes and sizes. Some people are simply free spirits and not meant to be tied down to any one particular person. Others can be great fun and great lovers, but since they place no value on loyalty or commitment and tend to be a little selfish and narcissistic, they will never be faithful and exclusive with anyone, even though they may say that's what they want. People with a history of cheating tend to always be that way. You should listen very carefully when new lovers tell you about their past relationships and how they behaved to determine how they will treat you. The most common types of heterosexual relationships are open relationships, friends with benefits, sex playmates, monogamous, exclusive relationships, and marriage. Once you decide what kind of a relationship you want to have, and in order to prevent unnecessary suffering, you should only date people who share the same relationship goals and values. If you've been following me for a while, you've probably seen a lot of emails from men and women who are projecting their fantasy of what they want onto the person that they're with and basically ignoring the fact that that person in no way, shape, or form is what they really want and sticking around, trying to change them, hoping things will get better, and it just never does. So let's get through his email. He says, hi, Coach. I love your videos, and I've read the book about 3 times now. Let me get right to it. I was in a relationship for about 3 years with my ex-girlfriend. My first year and a half in the relationship was going great. I was dating my girl, and she was chasing me. During that time, she was having trouble financially. We both lived in separate places, and I was helping her out with her rent because she was unable to afford it as she lost her job as a LPN, and she has an 8-year-old daughter. My ex-girlfriend is very needy, emotionally needy also, and very affectionate. I, on the other hand, was not that affectionate. She used to complain about it all the time, but we were in love. I'm in real estate also. I'm a mortgage banker. I was able to support both my place and help her out with her place also. However, the mortgage business took a major dive, and my income started diminishing at a rapid pace. I told her I wasn't able to help her out anymore with her place, so she moved in with me. And I left my current company and started my own branch, but money was tight running my own business. After reading your book, I now realize my errors in the relationship. I got really complacent and stopped dating her due to financial struggles. That's what guys do. They get into a difficult spot, and they go into achieve mode, taking action mode, and they think, hey, we're together, it's great, we live together, we got a 30-year mortgage, whatever it happens to be, we'll be fine. And they get focused on basically becoming a money mule instead of being the charming, playful guy that she fell in love with. Like I said, 90%, I've said this before, about 99% of the time when guys come to me and are having problems in their long-term relationships, it's usually what it is. They've stopped dating and courting their girlfriend or their wife. So what I do is I help them get back to focusing on what they need to focus on as a man, their goals, their mission, their purpose in life, some communication skills, and getting back to the basics of dating and courting her, and getting her to open up, to diffuse, because obviously women in that situation can be pretty fucking pissed off and hurt that the guy stopped dating and courting them properly. Obviously, the only way it's going to work is if you got a woman who will communicate with you like an adult and who wants to work things out. I also do lots of emails from men and women where the other person has got one foot out the door and they've already stopped trying, but the other person is trying to make it work and the other one's looking for a way to leave. Then my girlfriend got a new job and was making some decent money, but my business was still in a rut. Well, she started making decent money. Did she help out with the bills? Did she pay you back for all the help that you gave her? A true teammate, somebody that loves you and cares about you as well, and is a loyal person who places a high value on loyalty, is going to look at it and want to do things together. And those kind of people tend to come from a healthy relationship where mom and dad have a good relationship. They love each other. They have a good relationship with their parents. Parents have a good relationship with them. That's the ideal situation, but most people aren't in that case. A year went by, and my ex kept asking me to propose to her, and I told her I would, but I didn't have the money right now. And also, I would say on some level, your spidey sense knew that something was a little off there. Long story short, I caught her cheating on me with a lesbian. And probably some guys watching this going, well, how is that the bad thing? I mean, was she hot? Threesome? Can I join in? I was devastated and crushed. That's when she changed the terms of our relationship. She expressed that she had these thoughts all her life, and now they were coming out. So let's look at what happened. I mean, you're paying her bills. You're on a team together, and you're doing your part. You're paying her bills and help her out when she lost her job. And so she moves in with you, and now she gets a job, and you're struggling financially. And so how does she repay you? Is there any loyalty? No, it's just, fuck you. I'm selfish. I'm going to do what I want. I've always had these urgings. And so she decides to go have a lesbian affair and not tell you about it. So what does that tell you? That tells me she's open relationship, friends with benefits, material, fuck buddies. That's it. She's not girlfriend material. She's not exclusive, monogamous relationship material. She's certainly ain't wife material. This is her true character. This is why you date before you get married. So you can go through some ups and downs together. If your goal is to get married, you go through some tough times together. You see the true character of the other person. Because like there's a quote by Oprah that I love. She says, everybody wants to ride with you in your limo, but a true friend will take the bus with you when the limo is broken down. Because if you're doing real well and you're making money and you're having parties and you got clients and you got referrals and you're referring business to everybody, everybody's your friend, they love you, they care about you, they buy you gifts, and then as soon as you go through a tough time, it's like crickets. Where'd all those people go? Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, just real jammed up. Oh, I just can't make it. Oh, I'll get in touch with you though. And you just never hear from. And then you do well again. I had a guy that I hadn't talked to in several years. I was in Brazil with my girlfriend over the holidays this past year, and I get an email from this guy. I hadn't talked to him in years, and I knew he was kind of shallow, and so he sends me this email. He's like, "Hey man, I heard you're doing really great. Your business is really doing well." And this was one of those guys that just disappeared as soon as I got out of real estate and decided to become a life coach and didn't have that big business that I used to have. So it's like people like that, they look at other people as disposable commodities. What can I get from them? How can they be of benefit to me? I had a guy who used to work for me. It's like that's the way he looked at everybody. He was like, how can you be of benefit to me? I mean, that's how he thought. Can I get client? Because so he's nice to you and he kisses ass, blows sun, and his parents are the same way. They blow sunshine up your ass. Oh, we love you. We care about you. And as soon as you go through a tough time, it's like, hey, well, see you later. Oh, I don't feel the same way. I don't look at it. Friendship doesn't mean shit to the people like that. It's just all phony, fake relationships. And it's like when you go through a tough time in your life, you really find out who's on your team and who's not. And so this guy sends me an email, and his business is struggling. And he's like, oh, I want to recapitalize my business. I want to grow. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'd like to get a loan from you or maybe have you invest in my company. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm chilling. I'm chilling with my girl for the holidays. I'm not in the country. Sorry. And then I remember, like, I was looking through my email a month or two after that, and I looked, and it was like, the guy fucking unfriends me on Facebook, thinking, what a fucking shallow jerk. So I don't invest in his company until he just unfriends me. That's a real true friend. It's like they're nice, they're ass kissy. Oh, you're so great. It's like, oh, it's so wonderful. It's like your business is so awesome. You're helping all these people. It's just, it's like they're just fucking totally licking your asshole verbally. Fucking, there's a lot of shallow people in the world. So he says, so back to what she said. After she said she always had these thoughts all her life, and now they were coming out, I decided to walk away. But like I say, it's like, it shows that there's a character flaw. She's not really on your team. She's really just looking out for herself. And I'm sure she cared about you a lot at one time, but that's just a shitty thing to do to somebody. I mean, you're living together. You paid this chick's bills. You probably treated her daughter like she was your own, and that's how she repays you. She's making money, and she just goes and starts fucking a woman. Oh, hey, I always had these feelings. Sorry. No sense of loyalty, no sense of honor, no sense of doing what's right. And if she wasn't happy, she should have left and moved out. But instead, she blew sunshine up your ass. She gave you the impression that all was well when it really wasn't. That's when I discovered your videos on YouTube. Then my ex started chasing, and I set a date. I followed your formula, hung out, had fun, and hooked up. It worked, and she gave me oral sex the first time. A week later, I set another date when she reached out, and I closed the deal. I told her I don't want to be in a love triangle, and if she's done with her lesbian situation, we can work on getting back together. He says, I know it was supposed to be her idea. Well, see, that's part of the problem, is you're trying to twist her arm and saying her or me. I mean, this girl's got an identity crisis going on. She's basically coming to the realization that she's had these feelings and now she's acting upon them, and she did it all behind your back. This is not somebody to have a relationship with. You can never trust her again, because that's the way she is. She's selfish, and look, she screwed you over. So I would, in these kinds of situations, I would never call or contact a person like this again. If they reach out, they're a fuck buddy, and that's it. Open relationship, that's it. She reaches out, you assume she wants to see you, invite her over, hang out, have fun, and hook up. I wouldn't go, at least for the first 3 dates, she's got to come to you, hang out, have fun, and hook up. So the first time it was oral sex, and the next time you fucked each other's brains out. She does 100% of the calling and texting, but she told me she's in love with 2 people. Then I got wind of her posting pictures on social media, and I became unglued. I told her I don't want to be in a love triangle, and she is still in love with a lesbian girl. So again, you're basically saying her or me. You go from being broken up to having sex one time, and now you expect her to be back into a relationship. Again, what you're doing is you're projecting your fantasy of what you want onto her, and you're ignoring the fact that she's a lesbian. You're ignoring the fact that she wasn't loyal. You're ignoring the fact that she fucking lied to you. And you're ignoring what you learned from me, which is that the guy never focuses on the relationship labels. You're trying to lock her down to a commitment because you feel threatened by the lesbian. You want to get her all to yourself. You want to feel better about the situation. If you just get her to commit to you, then you feel comfortable and secure. But the bottom line is, even if you do get back together, you will never trust this woman again. You will always be sleeping with one eye open. So your choices in this situation, you're either an occasional fuck buddy with her, if you want a relationship, if you want something that's monogamous, then she ain't it. That's the reality of the situation. It's like Ayn Rand said, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. She still wants to have me as a backup and hook up with me just in case the lesbian situation doesn't work out. Well, if the lesbian's kind of high, you say, hey, why don't both of you guys come on over and we'll see what pops up. She wants to have her cake and eat it too. However, I told her it was nice meeting you. She's not reached out yet, but it's only been 1 day. I also noticed in your book you say not to focus on one girl. I have not been dating other girls, but my ex-girlfriend thinks I'm dating other girls with the impression I gave her. Who cares? It really doesn't fucking matter. You gotta figure, what is it you want? What's your outcome? If you want a girlfriend, if you want somebody to live with and be exclusive with, or eventually be married with, she's not a candidate anymore. She disqualified herself. She DQ'd herself from the equation. So she's out. But if you still want to have some fun, maybe even, who knows, if the girlfriend's hot and she's open to it, why not? But if you're not down with that situation, then the only thing to do is to walk away and not be involved with her in any way, shape, or form, because you can't have a monogamous relationship with somebody like this. She's a cheater. She's a liar. And plus she's got an identity crisis going on in her life. It's possible she goes through and it's a phase, or maybe she stays with this girl, or maybe she's bisexual. You got to love in such a way that the person you love feels free, and you tried to lock her down to a commitment. It's like you cherry picked the information that I teach. You violated the principles, and therefore she bounced on you and went back to the lesbian. I really wanted this situation to work out, but it looks like I'm walking away and never looking back, Coach. I guess the way I showed up in the relationship probably caused this. Well, it's not your fault that she's been a closet lesbian her whole life and decided to cheat on you and keep this from you and deceive you. You're not responsible for that. Yeah, you didn't court and date her properly, but if she was a real true woman of integrity, she would have let you know that she was unhappy, and she would have communicated in a loving way what she expected of you. And if you still didn't do that, she would have said, well, if you don't start treating me the way I wanted to be treated, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to move out, and I'm going to leave, and I'm going to want to date other people. That's what a woman who has honor and who has integrity and who places a high value on loyalty and who's a good communicator will do with you. And this girl didn't do that. So, like I said, you're ignoring the reality of the woman that she actually is. Please enlighten a student because I want to be a 3% man. Well, read the book 10 to 15 times. I would encourage you also to review the article, 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back. You can Google that. It's also one of the essential fundamentals on my YouTube channel. It's also on my website as one of the, if you see the little slider tile at the top with the pictures, those are all featured articles. If you just click on the features, like if you click any of those little tiles, those large square images on the home page of my website, and scroll down about midway to the bottom of the article where the tags are, just click on the blue link that says features, and that'll bring up all of them. And 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back is in there along with all the principles written out, because obviously with YouTube you just get the video, but the website's got them all written out. Maybe you copy and paste that, have it with you. You need to memorize that because you don't know those fundamentals very well, and you violated them, and she bounced on you. But like I said, she's a fuck buddy, and that's it. So hang out, have fun, and hook up with her. And if you want a girlfriend, if you want to live in love her, if you want a wife, if you want somebody to be exclusive with, you got to look elsewhere. And that's the reality of this situation. And even if you start hanging out, having fun, and hooking up with her, and she tries to get you to be exclusive with her, say, no, you cheated on me. It's like we can have an open relationship. We can date. We can be fuck buddies. We can be friends with benefits. But I'm never again going to be in an exclusive relationship with you because you've shown me your true character. After all I did for you, all the bills I paid, raise your daughter like my own, treat you like family, treat her like family. I'm sorry. It's just never. I'm never going to trust you again. That's the way it is. I forgive you for that, but I'm never going to forget it because I know the way you are. And so let's just interact with each other in a way that allows you to be who you are and allows me to be me. You keep dating your lesbian or whatever, and I'm going to keep looking for somebody to have a serious relationship. When I find somebody else and I decide to become exclusive, we're not going to be in each other's lives anymore, so let's just enjoy this while it lasts. And if that doesn't work for you, hey, I understand if, give me a call if you change your mind. And you let her go. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session with yours truly. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.